Well, good evening and welcome to the Epic Screen Time podcast. Today, we will not be grabbing our remote controllers or popcorn. Actually, you can. We do have something. It's just not the Mission Impossible episode that we promised. In fact, that one got pushed again because I am quite busy, and so my planning and scheduling has been very off between work and travel and all that jazz. So, to not leave you hanging, this is we'll call it a trailer. Almost a year ago, myself, my beautiful bride Hallie, Carter's fiance, and Carter, obviously, all recorded an episode about Game of Thrones. Previous to that episode, in fact, when we kind of initially talked about it, my wife and I, who has watched all the seasons, prior to that, my wife had never seen a single episode and only decided to do it because when the six of us, Carter, Sam, myself, and our significant others, got together, we would always talk about it because it was a monumental show. And so my wife looked at me one day and goes, I need to know what the hell's going on. So that's what we did. We watched each season and we recorded a conversation after each season. So please enjoy the season 1 review from my wife, who's never seen a single episode beyond this. She had never seen the show. So hear her raw comments about who she likes, who she doesn't like, and everything that goes with it for someone completely blind. I think that is probably the best part about this, is that you're going to hear and just kind of feel that excitement, that frustration again, just like as if you had watched it for the first time and you're waiting for each episode to come out. We have 8 seasons of this. I cannot tell you when the next one will come out. I'm going to use them as trailers for this, so it could be that they come out randomly, or it could be situations like this where I could not get scheduled time with the other 2 guys to record a podcast that worked for everyone. And as we go into the holidays, it very well might be that way again. So enjoy. It was a blast recording these. There's no video. It is just audio. So you can have it running in the background. You don't have to pay attention and watch. Not that there's anything exciting that happens on the screen anyway. But thank you very much for all 57 of y'all. We really do appreciate it. We're not trying to phone it in. We just are very busy. Thank you, and enjoy the review of season 1 of Game of Thrones. We're recording.
Okay.
All right. So tell me, we've just finished the first season. So tell me what has happened in the story so far.
Okay. So we've met, I think, probably the majority of the important characters ish, maybe.
Sure.
Well, we've met a lot. We've met a lot of characters. You know, we've met the Lannisters / Baratheons at one point, and then we've met the Starks, and also Daenerys and her kind of crew, and we've witnessed sort of some of the history come up between the different families that are the different houses. Some of the major events have been obviously Robert Baratheon, the king. He died he was injured and then died after this like whole hunting thing. And so Joffrey, everyone thinks like, oh, well, it's obviously Joffrey who's supposed to come into power after Robert. But turns out Joffrey is not the next in line because he is Jaime Lannister's kid, which also gross. But he comes into power anyways, even though, Ned Stark like comes forward and says like, yeah, this is not kosher. Like this isn't supposed to happen, but it happens anyways. And then, Ned basically gets beheaded for it because Joffrey is a little bitch. And what? He is a little bitch. He's like the actual worst. Like he's just the epitome of like he's like being enabled by everyone around him. Like Cersei, she's horrible. Like I know we probably haven't even seen the worst of her yet, But she is horrible, and I feel like she just is like, oh, my little prince, I'm so proud of you. But like Joffrey is like the actual worst. So we hate Joffrey. But what else happened this season? Jon Snow joined the Night's Watch, and is basically like the person who's going to replace, is it a Grand Commander, Master? The guy who's the head of the Night's Watch right now. I don't know what his name is. There's so many people.
Lord Commander.
Lord Commander, thank you.
And who, you know his name.
I don't know his name.
You should.
Garrett, there's so many people.
Mormont.
Oh, Mormont. Oh, right, because he's Jorah Mormont's father.
Yep.
So then we also see Daenerys or Dany get married to Khal Drogo, and sort of how that all goes down. And I feel like their relationship really like evolves over the season, even though it's kind of cut short by Khal Drogo's death. But I really enjoyed the way that Dany's brother, was his name Viserys, how he died. He got what he deserved. I think he's like up there with Joffrey in terms of like just so entitled and spoiled, and yeah. But the way season 1 ended, I really enjoyed. Like with Dany and her little dragons hatching. I mean, I also am a sucker for like anything like that's a baby animal. So the baby dragons were really cute.
Okay, so you hate Joffrey.
Oh my gosh, Joffrey's the worst.
Viserys.
Cersei.
Anybody else you hate so far?
I don't think there's anyone else that I like hate so far. Actually, I think I hate Jaime Lannister too.
Okay.
Just especially his interaction with Catelyn at the end, where he's like basically their hostage prisoner, whatever, and he's like, oh, I like violent women. It's like, oh my gosh, she clearly like just wants to stone you to death, but she won't. And yeah, he's just like, I feel like he's very full of himself and just very, very pompous. Okay. Also, he's awful for having pushed Bran out of the window to try to kill him. There was a lot that happened this season.
Yeah. So happened. Who do you like?
So obviously, I mean, the Starks in general, I like most of them. I think Sansa's a little pathetic, but it's whatever. I'm sure it's like every girl's dream to get married when they're like 14. So at least in their world. And I really like Arya. I think she's very like tough and
boy.
I mean, okay, yeah, she's got kind of like a tomboy, I think.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But I think I like what I think I like her because she's trying to like kind of like break out of that mold that she's been told that she needs to be, you know, polite and ladylike and, you know, do all of the ladylike things like embroidery, but she just wants to sword fight, you know? And I think that's fun. Like, she should embrace that. And it was cool that her father, Ned, got her dancing instructor to...
Dancing master.
Or dancing master, sorry. There's so much random terminology in this series, but her dancing master, instead of trying to send her to, like, embroidery classes with that old nun. Oh, that nun is the worst.
Septa.
Yeah, Septa. I didn't like her.
Okay. No one.
Yeah, I don't think anyone likes Septa, but who else? Obviously, love Dany. I liked Khal Drogo while he lasted. I think Jorah Mormont. I think he's growing on me a little bit. I think he,
even though he was spying on Daenerys for this. Lord Varys, the eunuch.
Yeah. So I think maybe he realized after, like, you know, when they were they were in that like village and someone was like, that shopkeeper was like trying to poison her with the wine. I think he realized that maybe he did the wrong thing, because I feel like now
it's gone too far.
Yeah, I feel like at the end of the season, you could see that he was very loyal to Dany. You know, when she basically became like, sort of like I mean, she's always been Khaleesi, but like, I feel like she kind of almost stepped into Drogo's place, even though she's not a Khal.
Sure.
So
She's
going to be a leader in her own right, I think.
I mean, you can't be wrong in that sentiment, speaking that she just walked through fire and people are surprised as hell to see 3 dragons that have been gone for 300 years or whatever. So,
Yeah.
what was the coolest scene for you this season?
The coolest scene, honestly, it was probably when Viserys got his golden crown. That was a cool scene.
It's a pretty gnarly death.
It was a gnarly death. It was good though. And
Much deserved.
yeah, it was very, very deserved. And I feel like it was even just like more damning for him that his own sister dealt him such a gruesome death.
I mean, she definitely, she didn't deal it, but
I mean, she was like,
I'm
she
over
did,
it. I'm done.
She wasn't against it. That's for
That's
sure.
Fair. That's fair. What was the most surprising thing that happened this season for you?
I think how much like I actually really hate some of the characters because I feel like I'm not someone who, in general in life, like really has any hatred towards people, but just like how deplorable some of the people on this show are. Like not the actors, obviously, they're characters they portray, but like Joffrey and Viserys, like among others, but they're just horrible people. Cersei, horrible. Because I feel like a lot of them honestly are just so obsessed with power, and that's just like not something I could relate to. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, you guys can get over it. That's kind of how I feel. But I think that's what surprised me the most was sort of how visceral my reaction was to some of the characters. Because usually I don't have strong feelings either way, especially about fictional characters.
In the words of Cersei, when you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. So what do you think okay, I should make context for the listeners. You've never read the books. You've never seen this series. So
No.
What do you think is going to happen next, knowing what you know now? And you also while we've talked about it, excuse me, around you, what do you think? We haven't really given a lot of spoilers, which I think honestly, for the 5 of us having talked about this, we've done pretty well. Good. And I try and lead you in the general direction just to. Because I know I got to keep you interested somehow. And, if Dany died at the end of first season, I think you would have walked out. So,
yes.
What do you think happens? What do you think will happen?
I mean, I think Dany is gonna somehow get involved in whatever war is about to really pop off. Because obviously there's been some death and fighting so far, but. I think it's about to really go down in season 2. My wish is that Sansa would just run away and not marry Joffrey, but I have a feeling that they're going to get married and she's basically just going to be trapped.
I'm going to turn a map for you.
Okay.
So
they're going to go across. I think so. Dany's probably going to go across the Narrow Sea, right?
She is way over here.
I don't know then.
So this would be, if this is the UK, she's over in Ukraine.
I mean, you're asking me to speculate. How am I supposed to speculate?
No. Just in general, just what do you think is going to happen? Overall. So we've seen what was implied at the end was that Renly has declared himself the next king.
Okay.
Robb is now king of the North. Joffrey's the king of the 7 kingdoms, even though the 7 kingdoms are in turmoil. Khal Drogo is dead, and we know Stannis exists. So
I think we're going to see more from Stannis probably because Lord Renly's not the one who's next in line, at least from my understanding.
Yeah.
Right? If they were going in succession.
Yeah, because Stannis is Robert's older brother, I think.
Okay.
So he's next in line.
So I mean, I think there's we're gonna see Stannis, and I think we'll see more of him. TBD on I don't know how he is and what he wants, but I can imagine being king would be pretty appealing. So he might try to raise up some armies and go fight against I assume the Lannisters. But other than that, I don't have very many specific predictions.
Okay. All right. Well, that works. Well, that's the end of season 1. So
Okay.
we'll start season 2 soon.
Sounds good.
Cool. Once again, I just want to say thank you for watching our episodes, watching our random shorts that used to go out that will be coming back. And thank you for watching this season review of Game of Thrones and hopefully in the near future, the actual Game of Thrones episode. Take care. Have a good one. We'll see you on the next one.